Let's talk about the new film Clown in Cornfield, which is a movie I got the chance to watch back at South by Southwest like almost 2 months ago. And let me tell you, I've been thinking about this film ever since. It is releasing this week, so if you are planning to watch a horror movie this month, it is indeed Clown in Cornfield that you should be looking at. This is directed by Eli Craig, who of course is not a newcomer to horror, and it's based on a novel by Adam Cesare, which I honestly have heard about the novel here and there through TikToks and all of that, but I really wasn't aware of the novel or ever picked it up. And that is going to change soon after this, because let me tell you, Clown in Cornfield is one of those movies that I was just so intrigued by. So the premise is Frendo the clown, the mascot of a town, terrorizes a group of teenagers. So you gotta know, don't go into this knowing anything else about the movie, just take it for what it is. And let me tell you, this movie really is a movie that I think is gonna be special. I think that what people saw with other films, maybe like Scream or films like Cabin in the Woods, where it sort of like switches up the horror genre and gives it a breath of fresh air, I think Clown in Cornfield does that just very, very good. So let's get into it. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers. That's our big goal. We are less than 200 away from that. Let's talk about Clown in Cornfield. So this movie, I will tell you, like I said, I had no clue about what Clown in Cornfield was about. I just knew it was based on a book, and I had been hearing some really great stuff about the book and also about the movie apparently. Now, the director here, Eli Craig, gave us a very classic horror film that is called Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which I had the chance to watch all of those years ago when it came out. I was still like in high school, and it was pretty interesting, honestly. And I always felt like we needed to see more of Eli Craig, and we finally get it. Now, I didn't watch his latest film, which was Little Evil, but that does have a bit of a severance actor in there, which is always great to see when actors go from one project to the next. And I'm going to tell you, I think Eli Craig does an amazing job here. I want more horror films with Eli Craig behind the wheel. In this film, you also have Katie Douglas starring. You have Aaron Abrams, Carson MacCormac, Kevin Durand, who is just becoming like a horror staple, amongst others as well. And this is a movie that takes a lot of twists and turns. That is something I found so intriguing. I had only watched the first trailer for it. I think there's more trailers and teasers out now, but I implore you, go into this movie knowing nothing at all, and you will be so surprised with this one, because it truly goes into these moments where you think you know what the movie's about to do, or you're probably thinking, here we go with a trope, but it quickly spins it back around and gives you something so fresh and unique. And I think that this is what it felt like to watch Scream back in the 90s. Like, you're seeing horror evolve and sort of horror become not quote unquote aware, because yes, there are some awareness in this movie to the horror genre and what a horror film is, but it does it in a way that feels a little bit less on the nose and more just subtle, and it makes sense. Like, the movie doesn't hit any screeching breaks or anything. It keeps on flowing and building, and I really love that about the movie here, is that it is just a fun time to watch. So overall, I really do implore you to go into this not knowing anything. Be careful of spoilers, because spoilers are going to go out for this movie first day, trust me. So be careful about that, because this is a movie that you just want to experience for the first time on screen. It is wonderful. But I really want to talk about Katie Douglas, who I think is the star of the show as the main character, Quinn. I think Katie Douglas has such an intense charisma to the way she portrays her character, and it really is the selling point of the film. You have to really be on the side of Quinn, and I think Quinn is such a great character, as well written by Adam Cesare, and that's what I want to jump based off of. That is that Adam Cesare has made a trilogy out of these books, and I really do feel that this movie is going to be a hit. So we're going to have a new horror trilogy in our hands that I think is just going to be one of those that is going to be timeless. I think it's going to be so many inspirations going forward with what people want to see in the horror genre as well, and what people really do think is the appropriate way to continue in this space, because I think the horror genre is one of those genres that continues to really reinvent itself, and it does pay homage to what came before it, but at the same time it's still able to really give us something new at all times, and Clown in Cornfield does just that. In terms of scares and all of that, I do think it doesn't really go as crazy with the scares. Like, there were moments where I did jump and felt like a little bit of a suspense, but I do think it's more of a I don't like to use the word beginner horror and things like that, but I do think it's more like for a younger audience as well. But it's still a very fun time. Like, I did love that they still try to incorporate maybe a bit of a message here and there, and sort of this social commentary on the times. And I thought that that was such an interesting aspect of the film. Really would have loved to dig deeper into that, but I wonder if Adam Caesar's doing that in the sequel book or the third book. I haven't read the books, like I said, but I do love that we're starting to to sort of unravel what this really is, because I honestly went into this thinking just another slasher film. Like, we have a ton of slasher films every year, but I think Clown and Cornfield really differentiates itself by really digging deeper and trying to unravel, and it feels like a very Americana type film as well. That's something I really did like about the movie, because it is set in a small town where Frendo the Clown has become a sort of, like, I would say, mascot and a staple, and it sort of got twisted and turned into something else, and you quickly find out why that was. And I really loved exploring that sort of mythology of the whole story, which I hope in the second and third book we get a bit more of, because that was something that really did intrigue me about the film. So overall, I think Clown and Cornfield is great. I think there's going to be a lot of discussions about it. I think people are going to really enjoy this one. It was fun. The social commentary wasn't too in your face or on the nose, where it just kind of felt flat like a lot of horror movies do nowadays. It was just the right amount, and really told in a way that let the story breathe and flow, and just an amazing film that I really cannot wait to watch again. This is a movie I want to watch over and over, because there is just so much fun with it. So I implore you, if you're looking for a good horror movie to watch this weekend or this month, Clown and Cornfield has to be at the top of the list. Really love this one. Cannot wait to hear more discussions about it. We'll talk more spoilers and things like that over the weekend once the film comes out, because I do want to get into spoilers about what's potentially coming next. Potentially, could we start a book club reading Clown and Cornfield? That's something I've been thinking about, so we'll talk more about that at a later date. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on the film, and if you're excited for Clown and Cornfield this weekend. Are you going to watch it in theaters, or are you going to wait for it to come out on Shudder? I believe it says scheduled by release by RLGE Films and Shudder on May 9th. So I think it's going to come to theaters first, and then it's going to go to streaming after. So let me know. Are you planning to catch it opening night, or are you going to wait for streaming? I really do think that this is one of those movies you want to catch as soon as possible. Don't let the people spoil it for you. You immediately see on TikTok people just post clips and all of that, and I'm just like, why would you do something like that? But nonetheless, very excited to hear more about your thoughts and opinions on Clown and Cornfield. Make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell. We're on the road to 40,000 subscribers, less than 200 to go for them. So let's get to it by this week. I think we can hit that. I think we can. As always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe and stay positive.